Let's look at the actual language of the 7 last plagues. Are there any clues in there that God is not the direct active agent of violence and that it's Satan? Yes, there is. Let's assume that the wrath of God means, and we know it is, divine absence or divine withdrawal. So this is what happens with the wrath of God takes place when God withdraws. Well, then now the plagues mean something else. It's not God doing anything, it's what's happening when God withdraws. And that solves it nearly 99% right there and then. Since it is the devil, and let's assume it is the devil, and I show it will be, what's he up to by smashing people with violence when God withdraws? These are the lost. 16:9 New King James Version. And men were scorched with great heat during one of the plagues. And who'd they blame? And they blasphemed the name of God. There it is. Boom. This is Satan's strategy. Inflict pain on people, the lost, and get them to blame not only God, but to blaspheme his name. Character assassination. You speak against my name, you speak against my character, my reputation. And we will get into that in detail. So, assuming this is the devil, why is he smashing the lost? Because he wants them to blame God for what he's doing, and attributing Satan activity to God is blasphemy. Let's dig deeper. But it talks about it's the wrath of God poured out by angels out of bowls. Okay, let's look at these bowls. Let's look at these bowls carefully. 15:7 English Standard Version. The 7 angels had 7 golden bowls. And what are they filled with? Filled with the wrath of God. They are filled with divine absence. All right, they're pouring out divine absence, because this is how John uses the phrase. And we will get into that in more detail. Can you put literal wrath into a bowl? You can't. You can't store anger in a bowl, but you can symbolically if a bowl is going to be emptied out. And what is being emptied out? The wrath of God. What's the wrath of God? Divine withdrawal, divine absence, when God no longer restrains evil power. Wow. Bowls are getting poured out where God's not holding back the wine press anymore. He's not holding back the 4 winds of heaven, chapter 7. He's not holding back the 4 angels around the river Euphrates, chapter 9, in his letting go. It's in our divine absence, lack of divine protection, lack of God restraining evil powers is poured out. So that means if God's restraining power is not anymore, then evil's not going to be restrained anymore, and boom, all hell's going to break loose. That's what it means. When we understand, we're dealing with a symbolic book with a Hebrew figure of speech, wrath of God, that the Jews understood, but we don't. And we've got to get educated, or we're going to get this completely wrong. You don't store wrath into a bowl. And they are golden bowls. Why are these angels given 7 golden bowls? Why not just bowls? The words golden bowls appears only one other time in the book of Revelation. And it's got to be connected with wrath, because it's filled with wrath, divine absence, divine withdrawal. Look what else is in that bowl, in these golden bowls. Look, 5:8. The 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each having a harp, and golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of the saints. What? The golden bowls are filled with the prayers of the saints. So in that bowl is the wrath of God and the prayer of the saints. The wrath of God is God answering the prayers of the saints when he lets go, withdraws, releases his restraining power on evil, and the winepress comes in and the devil hammers his own. All hell breaks loose. The 4 angels released from river Euphrates, the 4 winds, chapter 7, they're withdrawn. The golden bowls have got the prayers of the saints inside them and the wrath of God. What are the prayers of the saints? We've seen this. 6, 9 and 10. The souls of those who had been slaughtered cried out, O sovereign Lord, how long before you will judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth, on those who persecute us? That's the prayers of the saints. So what's inside the golden bowls? God, when are you going to do something? Okay, I will. So the prayers are in the bowls. And he said, I'll now release my wrath, which is in the bowls. The wrath of God is God answering the prayers of the saints because they're both in the golden bowls. One, same thing. So, okay, it's now come to avenge your blood on those who dwell on the earth. So what happens? Divine withdrawal. Divine absence. No longer restraining the powers of evil. And when he does, the prayers of the saints are answered for vindication as evil destroys itself. So when the angel gets the bowl and turns it upside down, this is saying God is finally answering your prayers. How? Through the wrath of God, which is what? Divine withdrawal of restraining the powers of evil. And when he is not holding back the winepress anymore of the wrath of God, of divine absence, divine withdrawal, evil, the grapes are ripe. Evil will now self-destruct. And this is exactly what we will see in the story unfolding in the 7 last plagues. Look at, that was back in chapter 5 with the prayers of the saints are in golden bowls, right? That's the seals. But the trumpets are also connected with the prayers of the saints. 8, 2 to 5, just snippets of it. 7 angels, 7 trumpets. And another angel came with a golden censer with the prayers of the saints. Then the angel took the censer, threw it to the earth. The prayers of the saints are thrown to the earth. God is doing something about these evil powers, and we'll be through the trumpets in detail. And what did we see? The devil smashing the lost. And now instead of the angel throwing down the censer, which had the prayers of the saints, it's an angel pouring out a bowl with the prayers of the saints, which has got the wrath of God in it, which is divine absence, not divine violence. He takes off his restraining power and Satan launches off and attacks the lost to get them to blame God. Wow. Wow. I think we'll leave it there. We'll continue on.